Where's my phone? Hey everyone, it's Diane Forster. Welcome to Love It, Thank It, Bring It with Diane Forster. I'm excited to see you all. I want to put the chat box on here. Please give me your name and tell me where you're from. I know that there are some old friends of mine that registered for tonight and some new friends of mine, so I can't wait to see you all. And we are going to have an amazing webinar, fun night tonight. First, before we get started, I just want to play a little Justin Timberlake, because the theme tonight is love yourself and get your sexy back. So Adrian's dancing. So as you get on, tell me who you are, okay? All right. We're going to have a lot of fun. So first, let me tell you a little bit about Love It, Thank It, Bring It. The series, it's a weekly webinar series that I'm hosting, and a lot of it is related to topics in the book I have today. But there'll be other topics that come into play as well. And a lot of that, what the beauty is about having a live weekly webinar is we get to interact, and I get to address whatever's going on in your life at the time. So that's what makes it really special and unique. So some weeks, like this week, I'll have special guests on. Some weeks it'll just be me, but it'll always be relevant, current topics that are here to serve you and resonate with you and relate to whatever's going on in your life. So that is really the premise of the weekly webinars. So I thank you and appreciate you for being here. And I also wanted to say happy Valentine's Day. I don't know if anyone's told you that yet today, but if they haven't, happy Valentine's Day. Love you. And I'm so happy that you're here. And, you know, Valentine's Day is, it depends on how you look at it. It could be one of those things that you view as a Hallmark holiday, and it's overrated, and it's a chance for the florist to charge a lot of money for flowers and the restaurants to charge a lot of money for dinner. And sometimes it can be a really depressing holiday for people if they don't have love in their life, or the loves in their life, whatever's going on with them is not going well, and it could be really depressing. And so there's sometimes a lot of stigma and pressure associated with this holiday. But then on the other hand, it could also be, you know, a great opportunity to express love and be grateful for the love that's in your life, and just approach it from that point of view, view it as a special day just to magnify that. So depending on how you feel about it, is really all up to you on what that means to you. But the reason why I wanted to do this tonight on Valentine's night is to create an opportunity for you to fall in love with you. Because when we love ourselves deeply and completely and wholly, just as we are, perfectly imperfect, that what that does not only for ourselves, but what it does to the rest of the world, and how we show up in the world. And you know, Love It, Thank It, Bring It. The Bring It process in I Have Today is all about how we show up in our lives. And so that's why I wanted to do it on this day. And what better way to spend my Valentine's than with Adrian and of course with you. So that's why we wanted to do that tonight. So Adrian's and I are gonna have a great conversation. We're really gonna get into her life, her journey, her experience, and how she serves so many amazing women, and the way she serves them and creates inner beauty and self-confidence, and really the femininity and all of that. But before we get into that, I want to first tell you, you know, related to I Have Today, the two topics that I've picked out that are relevant to our conversation tonight about what we're talking about in loving you and bringing your sexy back. And so the first is my chapter on defining you and what defining you means. Thank you, Arlene. I love you, Perfectly Imperfect as well. And by defining you, what I mean is I've written in this book, and now I've labeled it as a power outfit, that I think every single woman on the planet needs to have at what I call a power outfit. And it might seem silly, it might seem irrelevant, but I think there's a lot of power with it. And the first part of a power outfit starts with what you put on your body first. And that's your intimate apparel and your lingerie. And every single woman should have at least one, if not their drawer full of beautiful lingerie, matching bra, matching panties. So I am encouraging you, and Adrienne can definitely help with this as well, to add that to your life if that's not part of your life. And I know there are many, many of you out there that have drawers full of, unflattering, stretched out, maybe holes in them. Hey, John, happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for joining. Ripped, torn, stretched out underwear that belong in the trash. And you need to toss those puppies in the trash and make room and space in your life for beautiful things, because you are so beautiful and you are special and you deserve to have beautiful undergarments. So that's part one of the power outfit. Part two of the power outfit is every single woman should have an LBD. And if you don't know what an LBD is, it's a little black dress. There are only a cajillion of them on the planet. They come in all different styles. Doesn't matter if you are if you're big or you're small or you're tall or you're short. Every single woman should have a little black dress. And the reason why a little black dress is because it's so flattering on everyone. And I have two at all times in my closet. I have one that it can go from day to evening. I can dress it down or I can dress it up. And then I have one that's just for evening. So that is part two of the power outfit. And then part three is you need to splurge and get yourself a pair of sexy heels. And it doesn't matter if they're sandals, open-toed or closed-toe. Just buy a pair of shoes. And they don't have to be Manolos. You don't have to go crazy. Just, you can go to DSW and find, plenty of them, or wherever you go. Payless even, wherever. But buy yourself a pair of shoes that you feel sexy in, and makes your foot look great, your ankle look great, and your legs look longer, and you just feel amazing in them. And then what I want you to do with your power outfit. So a night like Valentine's is a great night to do it, but you can do it anytime. Go out with your husband or your boyfriend or your, significant other, your lover or your girlfriends, and go out in your power outfit and just exude your sexual femininity and your energy. Preferably walk from one end of the room to the other, whether it's a restaurant or a banquet hall or a meeting hall or a wedding or wherever you are, and just own your power and just watch how all the eyes and the energy gets focused on you. That's powerful. As a woman, that's an incredible feeling. So when I talk about defining you in the book, and that's what I mean about the power outfit, every woman should feel like that. Every woman should feel like that every day, but certainly make it a point to give yourself those gifts. I always talk about gifts, but what a gift to do that for you. So that's one topic in the book. And then another topic in the book that I talk about is being selfish in a really good way. And by that, I mean, if you haven't read the book and you're not familiar with it, that being selfish means taking care of self first, because when we take care of self first and nurture ourselves first of all, we have so much more to offer the world. Second of all, it actually creates more time in your life, not less time. And most of the reason why women don't put themselves first is because they're so busy taking care of the needs of everybody else and they neglect themselves. Well, that actually depletes your energy and takes away from who you are and the empowered woman that you are and the gifts that you have to offer the world. You're going in the wrong direction. So with that, my personal practice, I've shared this before, and I'll share it again in case this is new to you, but I nurture my spirit, mind, and body every day first before I do anything else. I get up in the morning, whether I set my alarm or I let myself wake up naturally, and I go and I sit quietly and I do my meditation practice. And then I sit and I write in my journal and take that time. And then I move my body. So whether that is I go work out or I go for a walk, or I put on my earbuds and I play music like Give Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake, or do something where I'm moving my body, or I'll put on something, motivational, inspirational on YouTube and listen to it while I work out at home, but some way, shape, or form to move my body every day. And by taking care and nurturing my spirit, mind, and body every day, I am ready to go from that moment on for the rest of the day. And I have so much more to give, and I'm clearly much more productive and motivated and positive, and my contribution is so much better to anyone and everyone that I'm interacting with that day. But that's what I mean by being selfish first. So figure out for you what that means. And it's like they say on the airplane, they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before you help others, because if you're not taking care of you first and you're not healthy and okay, then you can't be giving to other people, and then everyone suffers. So those are the two key elements from the book that I wanted to share. And I wanted to say one last thing before I bring Adrienne on, because we'll talk more about this, that through my process of every experience that I had gone through leading up to that moment in the bathroom where it was almost the end of my life, and staying in that relationship for too long, and having that pivotal switch happen, and setting down the road to my spiritual awakening and my self-discovery and my personal development, what I learned along the way is I learned to love every square inch of myself and all of my flaws. I look at them in a positive light and just know that that's, it's just part of my makeup. It's part of what makes me unique. And then all my mistakes from the past, I've learned to forgive those and let them go, and truly live the I Have Today way, which is in the moment. Today is all that matters. I get every new day is a clean slate and a chance and an opportunity to start over and start from a place of love and forgiveness. And it starts with self-love. So on that note, what I'd like to do is I would like to introduce Adrienne McGill, my beautiful friend. We've been friends for almost 5 years now. And what I want to do is I want to read her bio, because she's phenomenal and she's so perfect to have on the webinar tonight because of the topic, because of what she does. So Adrienne McGill is an entrepreneur, visionary, and speaker, and she's the founder and owner of Adrienne Clarice. After a series of life-changing events, she left behind a successful corporate career, I can relate, and created Adrienne Clarice to help women feel beautiful, confident, and feminine. She launched first as a retail store. The business quickly became highly regarded in the local community for its warm, friendly, knowledgeable service. The shop was nominated every year it was open for the Best of Intima Best Shop Awards, and was recognized as a top finalist in 2006 and 2008 out of more than 350 shops across the US and Canada. In working with thousands of women over the years, she noticed there was a need for women to learn more about healthy body image and sensuality. She created her signature class, Get Your Sexy Back Now, Easy Tricks Every Woman Should Know. Today, Adrienne Clarice has become the go-to source for personalized bra fittings, as well as educating women on sensuality and sexuality and the art of being a woman. She'll be launching her new signature class online this year in the hopes of helping even more women. In addition to offering bra fittings by appointment, she has ongoing events, classes, and workshops, and she also enjoys speaking. So welcome, Adrienne.
Thank you.
So happy to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. You know, I live in San Diego now, and Adrienne is in Chicago, which is actually where we met. So I don't get to see her as often as I used to, but at least we get to share this time together. So I'm really thrilled that you're here. So the first thing I have some questions that I want to ask you. And the first is, I really want you to tell everyone, tell me and everyone, what was the motivation for you to walk away from a corporate job and decide that you wanted to get into the lingerie, bra fitting, and empowering women business and into this area?
Well, there were a few things. One, my corporate career was in a male-dominated industry, and I didn't really at the time understand the masculine feminine, but I did understand that I was way overpowered by all this masculine energy. And I used to feel like in order to keep up or get ahead, I had to behave a certain way, which was not my nature. It was more masculine like. And so I used to wear beautiful lingerie underneath my suits and dresses because to me that helped me tap into my feminine energy. It kind of tried to balance what was going on there. So that was kind of one thing that was happening. Another thing is I was out shopping for lingerie and realized that I was shopping in the same place that teenagers were. And this is like 10, 15 years ago, about 15 years ago. And I thought, why am I buying my underwear at the same place? Why am I wearing the same underwear as a 13-year-old? I was going through the buckets looking for stuff, and there was a teenage girl and her teenage boyfriend there. And I thought, this is just, it just doesn't match. And then I also had, at the time, I had to have some surgery, and I was very concerned about what that was going to do to my sexuality. And what I realized is, as I was going out and looking for information, nobody wanted to talk about it. Everything's going to be fine. Nobody talks about it. In fact, there was an online chat room for a lot of women going through the same thing I was going through, and a few of my friends and I got kicked out of the chat room because we were too boldly talking about, hey, what's happening to our sexuality. And I am in a long-term relationship. I've been married. It'll be 32 years in June. And it's a very important part of my life. So sensing that being in this man's world, and it was a playground that they clearly didn't want me as a woman to play the way I wanted to play. So I wanted to go out and do my own thing. And it just seemed like all these pieces were falling together. I had also gained a lot of weight, so it was really hard for me to find any beautiful lingerie that fit. So I kind of took all the pieces together. And when I created Adrienne Clarice, my store, I wanted to create an environment that women felt welcome. They felt good about themselves. They were treated the right way, because we can all relate to having a salesperson either say the wrong thing or roll their eyes, oh, we don't have your size. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that from my clients. Or just be treated in a way that the women felt even worse. So I wanted to create this environment.
And excuse me for interrupting, but also on the other hand, and the other side of the coin is when they're so obnoxious and they're up in your face, and you want to enter the space and have it be less intimidating than it already is. So
exactly, like I respect people. There's some people that want to be modest and some people don't. And I erred on the side of privacy. My fitting room doors went all the way to the ground. They had locks on them. There were no curtains. Everything was designed to create an experience so that a woman wasn't coming out of the fitting room and having to go back and forth. We were just very attentive, and that's how I trained my staff. So, I knew I wanted to go out and do something, and I knew I wanted to kind of change the way that women view themselves and their sexuality and their sensuality, and create a space that allowed the conversations to happen.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And it was the, it's when you're shown the contrast that you're really opened up to what it is you're really meant to do. And it was because you were in that male, that masculine energy that really lit up your feminine energy even more. So I love that. What is the biggest challenge you see women facing when they come to you?
The biggest challenge is that women are so hard on themselves. Oh my God. Probably 99% of women who walk into my fitting room will look in the mirror and say, "Oh, don't look at my," and you can fill in the blank. Don't look at my arms, don't look at my tummy, don't look at my fat, don't look at this, don't look at that. And I don't see that.
Right.
Just like you don't look at the people that you love and care about. You don't look at people walking down the street. I tend to look at, oh my gosh, this woman is like really nice or really smart, has great hair, beautiful eyes. I notice the positive. And I think part of it too is they're so overly focused on the negative.
Yeah. Yes.
They're so hard on themselves.
Yeah. Well, they do, and it's such a function of society, and every magazine you pick up and you turn on the TV. I mean, it's everywhere, and so that stigma it's just ingrained in us that we're supposed to look a certain way, and it's so debilitating for these women, and that's where all of that self hatred comes in, and the self disgust, and I agree. It's so criminal that most of the women in society walk around feeling that way about themselves. So,
right.
Well, so you really serve them by bringing out their beauty. So, okay. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do I'm sure I'm not answering this myself, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how do most women rate their physical appearance? Would you say it's a 5 or lower, or, I mean, where is it?
I would say what I see a lot of is a 5 or lower. And I think there are maybe some women that rate themselves above a 5. But then also maybe are too, women shouldn't brag, that's how we're raised. And maybe they don't, if they do rate themselves above a 5, they don't talk about it because nice girls don't brag about themselves.
Right, exactly.
And I'm saying that like sarcastically,
I know what you mean. Nice girls. Okay, can you talk a little bit about the program, Get Your Sexy Back?
Yeah, in working with women in the fitting room, well, let me back up just a little bit. One of the things I wanted to do was bring in the sexuality and sensuality part of it. So on a main street, in a main street location, in a way that women could embrace it. I feel that even now it's gotten a lot better, but women are sold sex in the way that men consume sex, right? We don't have the same turn-ons. We don't look at it the same. It's completely different. And I started realizing that because I had a lot of sexual wellness products in my shop. I wanted to bring in high-end items that would help women embrace that part of themselves. So as I had this in the store and I worked with women that were just so hard on themselves, I realized that there needed to be some education out there. So the class that I first started teaching was how to get your sexy back, and it was easy tricks every woman should know. And it was focused around the differences between men and women and the bedroom and things like that. And what I learned is that there's a lot of pieces to it. It was like an onion that started becoming unraveled. Every time I taught the course, there was more and more information that women needed to get from point A to point B. So now my course is starts off and talks a little bit about body image and self-care and very much what you talk about. I mean, I am a firm believer in every woman should have a matching bra and panty set that says, I'm hot, I rock, and I can do anything. That is like, every woman should have that. And you don't have to have permission. You don't have to have anybody to wear it for. In fact, I think like when I go on business trips, I probably pack more of my nicer bra and panty sets when I'm without my husband, because it's like a power source for me. So, yeah, so that's a big part of it, is the body image and the self-care, and learning to, like, as you said, learning to love yourself. And there are so many ways. It's a process, and it's a journey, and it's a practice. And I talk about things like love the verb. You know, a lot of people think, well, how do I love myself? I don't look in the mirror and I have that feeling of love that I feel, that love that I feel for my child, my spouse, my significant other, my pet even, right? They don't feel that. Well, I always say start with love the verb. And that means, how would you care for someone you loved? Would you feed them food that you knew wasn't going to sustain them? Would you not bathe them? Would you put rags on their body? That is probably the easiest way, I think, that women can kind of step into that self-love, is really looking at, if you can almost separate your body with yourself and say, how am I treating her? How am I treating her? And I saw so many women that I think they feel, and I still see it, it's not like it's changed, but they feel like they have to wait till I have to wait till I lose 20 pounds until I get the right undergarments. I feel like I have to have a man in my life. They wait for these arbitrary moments. Meanwhile, I can guarantee you that there's not a woman on the planet that's putting on wholly torn 15-year-old maternity bras. I'm not kidding you, true story, a maternity bra, and the baby was 15, and they're feeling good about themselves. They're not any more than we would, as if we were to put on our cleaning clothes, you know, the slobby, I'm cleaning the floors this weekend, hair up. I mean, that doesn't make anyone feel good or honor your body. So, you know, I started with this, and then I know that relationships are a real big part of it too, because there's a lot of things that we're not taught. I mean, biology takes us down this path where we fall in love, and it's just biological. But what happens is, when you're in a long-term relationship, or you want to be in a long-term relationship, there are significant differences between men and women that we're not taught. And quite often women treat men like male versions of a woman, right? And so there's that piece of it that as we get down the path of getting your sexy back, there's some basic understanding that we need to know as human beings how to relate. And then there's the topic of sensuality and sexuality, and how do you bring that in? How do you, when you're in a long term, you know, it's great when things are new and exciting, and you had the anticipation of not knowing. Well, after 30 some years, 10, 20, 30, you know, years, that new and exciting can go away, and it kind of can walk a tightrope of boring or safe. Right. And you have to learn things. You have to put an effort into it and make things different and unique and exciting. And that's not necessarily saying you have to go down some crazy, I don't know, 50 Shades of Grey path.
Right.
You know, I mean, of course, if that's the path you want, certainly by all means. But there are things that you can do, changing the environment, and just using different fun little tools and gadgets, and
just being open and creative and spontaneous. And you know what I write about in the book too, about commitment, and a commitment to you and yourself, and that's a commitment. I mean, congratulations, 32 years together. You know, you're happy, and keeping that part of your life alive and healthy and thriving and well, which is which is amazing. But it all doesn't it seem to all come back and relate to you and self love and the empowerment that comes along when you truly love yourself. You know, when you respect yourself that way and you open yourself up to, you know, there's always more to learn. I can always be growing, and I can always be expanding. There's always new territory. I mean, the universe is always, you know, constantly expanding. Well, so are we as spiritual beings having a human experience. We are too. So I you know, applaud you for offering such you know, amazing tools and resources for women, and living the example yourself too.
Well, thank you.
So.
You know, most women, here's the other thing too, is most women, here's a secret. Lingerie is not for men.
No.
It's not for men. See, this is how we're sold with the big ads, and this is how you look, and this is what you should be. It's not for men. Sorry, guys, but it's not for men. It's for women. Men enjoy the benefit of us being in our glow.
Right.
So it's about embracing ourselves and enjoying the process.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yes, it's so true. So I love that. Okay, so can you, if you could impart some words of wisdom, what for our participants and anyone who may see this, what would you want them to know about themselves?
You know, I think I mentioned this, but every woman thinks there's something wrong with her. Mm-hmm. Every woman looks and says, you know, let's face it, we weren't born in I mean, I used to think, I'm not a Twiggy. Was I born in the wrong decade?
Right.
You know, we're not born in the wrong decade. There's nothing wrong with you. There's so much photoshopping. I see it. I can look at a lingerie ad and I know that it's been photoshopped, first of all, because nobody is born with breasts that are up to here. Right. And women are buying that. So I guess if there's anything that I want women to know and understand, that every woman, and I don't care, I've seen 5'2" women, little petite gals. I've seen all kinds of body types come into my space and have a look of horror because they feel like they don't measure up, or they're not entitled, or they don't have the right body. They shouldn't be. This little petite 5'2" gal came in. I thought something happened, and she said, you know, I'm here for my anniversary, and I should get something. And I said, well, you don't look so happy about it. And she said, well, look at me. And I thought there was nothing wrong with her. I had another woman that asked me if I had a strong constitution. And I said, what are you talking about? I mean, this woman had like 8% of women have an hourglass figure. Okay. 8%. Very few. She had a great little hourglass figure, right? I just couldn't believe it. So what I want women to know is, when you look in the mirror, please, please, please look in the mirror and find something. There's one thing that you have to love. What is your best feature? What do you love about that part of you? And whatever it is, take time and think about that and put all your love there. And then breathe into that. Then take a few minutes and think about, is there a part of you that you're not comfortable with? Or maybe it's not your best part. And if it's like me, for me, it's my belly. Put your hands on that part and take all the love that you felt for that part that you really loved, and give it to the other parts. And like Diane said, is loving yourself is not being perfect. Loving yourself is knowing that, you know, I'm never going to be 6'2", blonde and leggy. Okay, I could be blonde, but I'm not going to be 6'2". I'm never going to be that, right? I'm never going to be that. I'm never going to have an hourglass shape. And so you have this moment in time to look at yourself and say, what do I love about myself? And please, if anything I could tell you, understand that there are no perfect bodies. I have seen a lot of women, and I've seen a lot of women in the lingerie industry. And let me tell you, even lingerie models have cellulite. They have they don't look like Barbie dolls. They don't look like plastic mannequins. They don't look airbrushed and perfect. And
yeah, we all, like I said, we're perfectly imperfect. We all have those flaws. We all have those areas. It's just embracing them and loving them anyway, and it's a challenge. Okay. So can you let us know how, if someone wanted to reach out to you for support or to work with you, or do a bra fitting, or buy some of your products and learn more about you, how would they reach out to you?
I'm going to give an email address. Should I put it in the chat box or say it?
You can do that right there. You can say it out loud, and you can put it in the chat box. At least, put it in the chat box too, if you can do
I'll
that.
say it, and then I'll put it in the chat box because it's long and not an easy thing to spell. I have to cheat here. Did I even spell my own name right there? Okay, you can email me at info@adrianneclarice.com. And I put it in the chat box. And it's info@adrienneclarisse.com.
Awesome. Well, that is great. Well, do you have any last parting words you'd like to share?
Get that matching bra and panty set that says "I'm hot, I rock, I can do anything." Put that on your to-do list.
And don't wait 2 weeks. Do it by this weekend. Do it now. Act today. I'm all about I have today. Living intentionally in the moment. Don't put off your life, because we just don't know how long it's ever going to be, right? So live now. Let's take action now. So. Well, I'm so happy that you were here. I'm thrilled that you were able to do this. And if anybody had any questions you want to ask Adrienne or ask me, feel free to put them in the chat box. And then what I also want to do while we're seeing if there's any comments, I just wanted to say a little bit about me. And I've gotten some requests on how to possibly work with me and what products I have available through I Have Today. Well, obviously I have the book. Which is available at Amazon, so you can get it there. And then I also have my journal, the Love It, Thank It, Bring It journal. It's the 90-day journal, which is really an accompanying piece to the program, to the book. But this is my own personal one, so it's filled with all my notes and my exercises and stuff. But what a great tool and resource to keep you moving forward in your life. And when you do the 3-step processes and the things that I talk about, that you are able to track your success and keep a track of your dreams and your goals and your desires and your wants and all of that in one central place. And then you can flip back, beginning to end, and see how much progress you've made once you get your momentum going. But I'm also going to list here, I have the I Have Today system, which is the online coaching program that has over 40 topics. I talk about this. I'm not going to run through the whole thing, but there's over 40 topics in there. There's 6 modules loaded with different lessons in there, and they're all quick and easy to follow. And it's just me talking to you, kind of like I'm doing right now, very conversational, about different areas of your life, the whole, my meditations and the emotional energy diffusers and setting intentions and defining you and how to incorporate love it, thank it, and then bring it into your life. So the bonuses are the chants and the other templates and a few other lessons. So all of that is available there. So if you're interested, feel free to click on the link. But I also do, I do limited, but I do one-on-one coaching with some clients. And I'm very focused on rapid results and solutions. That's what I'm all about, and creating your intentional life, and seeing that you can, creating for you that you really can have it all, despite what they say, but you actually can have it all, and how we can create that for you in every area of your life. And then I have a very high level mastermind group that's only open to 12 people. It's a year-long program. that I'm filling, and that's for those who really want to take their life up an extra notch. And so if you wanted to do any of that and wanted to find out more information, you can email me at diane@ihavetoday.com and just shoot me an email, and my team and I will get back to you, and we'll set up a proper appointment. We'll do a strategy session and see how I can serve you, because in order for me to really help you, I need to know you, and I want to know you so that I can custom design whatever the program is to your specific needs. So I wanted to share that with you as well. So I think on that note, I think we covered everything. And what I would like to say in parting is don't underestimate your value. Don't devalue yourself. And you're so worthy. You're so worth it. And I say this, we're all here in this time and space. We chose to be here at this time, and we're supposed to shine bright. We all are uniquely skilled and gifted in something that no one else on this planet is, and it's our job to figure out what that is and share that with the world, because the world needs those gifts. So own your power, love yourself, and reach out to Adrienne, reach out to me, reach out to your tribe, your team, whoever that is, to get the support you need when you're feeling low on self-esteem and you're not loving yourself, because there are resources and there are help out there for you to live the most extraordinary life that you can. So thank you for being here. It's been my privilege and honor. It was great interview, Adrienne. I've loved it. And I'll see you next week. All right. So thank you. Love you. Bye-bye.